everyone, welcome back to another video here on my channel. It has been a while, but I'm so happy to be back and filming with you guys. So I went and had a baby. I'm sure if you've been following my journey, you probably would have put that together. The last time I uploaded was about 5 months ago, and my baby is now 5 months. I point that way because that is where her nursery is, so hopefully she has her sound machine going, so hopefully she doesn't hear me while she's taking a nap. But I thought I would go ahead and film this now because she's finally down to somewhat of a predictable schedule, so I have more time to plan out my days. So this is what I'm doing today, and I'm sharing my birth story. Relatively, I had a pretty positive experience. I was very fortunate in that sense. On November 27th of 2021, I woke up at around 6:30 and I was getting out of bed, to go to the bathroom as I did most mornings. And as soon as I sat up on my bed, my water broke immediately. My experience with my water breaking was just like in the movies. It literally left a puddle on my bed. It was just a lot of water coming out of me. And it's such a weird feeling because you can't control it. It just keeps coming out, and no matter how much you try to stop it, you can't, obviously. So that was happening, and I woke up my husband and I said, "Hey, I think my water broke." And he immediately woke up and jumped into action, started getting the car ready, and meanwhile I took a shower, or at least tried to. The water kept coming out of me. I even put on a heavy pad because it just kept coming and I needed to get dressed. So I did that and then ate a super light breakfast. I think I just had toast or something that morning, or a granola bar. Went on the road, called my doctors, told them, hey, I'm going to the hospital, and it was on a weekend, so my actual OB doctor wasn't on call that weekend, so I had to have another doctor take care of me, which ended up being totally fine because she was amazing. My husband even had time to stop for snacks at a gas station because I wasn't having any contractions at all, at least from what I could feel. So we got to the hospital, and first they took me back to the triage, I think it's what they call it, to check if I was dilated or if my water had actually broken. They have to do some tests just to verify. I wasn't really having contractions, and they checked my dilation. I would think I was only dilated to a 1 or something at that point, and I wasn't really progressing that quick. So when I got admitted to a room, they had me get started on Pitocin. And I was terrified of Pitocin because I've heard that Pitocin cramps or Pitocin contractions are so much more intense. So I was terrified, but they started me off on low doses, and then they would up it gradually as I progressed in my dilation. So I was just hanging out for the first couple of hours. And I even had them bring in a pregnancy ball. I don't know what you call it. What's the actual term for it? Nobody knows. A pregnancy ball, and I was jumping on it, just kind of moving around. I was getting a little bit of contractions by this point, nothing crazy. They kind of felt like my regular period cramps, which is, I'm used to having super bad, horrible period cramps. So this was I was already used to this kind of pain. They kept upping my dosage, and then that's when we asked, how long would it take if I were to ask for an epidural. So she said they would have to put fluids in me first, and then it would depend on the availability of the anesthesiologist from then. So I asked for the epidural. The nurse gave me the fluids, and then the anesthesiologist came in, who was really nice, and everything went super smoothly with the epidural. It was honestly over in like 10 minutes. His whole process, from him like cleaning my back and getting the area ready to him inserting the epidural and getting that going, that was so quick. And it honestly felt just like a giant pinch in my back, which was not bad at all. But then after that, so that started kicking in, my contractions, I wasn't feeling them anymore, and I was like, this is crazy, because there's a machine next to the bed, and I actually have a photo of my husband looking at the machine where it kind of shows your contractions. And so he was like, you're having a contraction right now. And I literally said, wow, I don't feel anything. So that was amazing while it lasted, because my epidural started fading away by the time I was like having really bad contractions, and they were coming frequently at this point. So I was starting to get pretty miserable, and they have like a button you can push to get a boost of the epidural every so often, but that wasn't doing it for me. I was feeling everything except for my legs. My legs were numb, but like my abdomen area, I felt the contractions. So they had the anesthesiologist come back in, and he ended up giving me, I don't know what he gave me, honestly. He told me, but it completely went from my mind. I was like, I don't care, just give me something to get rid of this pain, because it hurt so bad. I was crying. And he was like, you don't look like you're having a good time, are you? And I was like, no, I am not. I am in pain. He injected some other form of medication into the epidural, but that really helped. And then a couple hours go by, and it starts wearing off again. My battery ran out, so excuse the lighting if anything's changed or if the setup's changed, that's why. So last time I was talking about how, yeah, they didn't want to give me any more like harder medication to numb my pain other than whatever I could get from the epidural boosts, because my doctor didn't want me to be completely numbed out. For the birth of the baby, they wanted me to be able to push. I was just dealing with it and getting epidural boosts whenever I could by pressing that little epidural button. By the time that I was 8 centimeters dilated, I think it was around like 10 or 11 o'clock, I really don't recall. Somewhere around that time, they told me they were going to stop checking me because they didn't like want to cause an infection. She just told me, the nurse just told me to wait until I felt a like intense pressure down there that wouldn't go away after the contraction, because when you have a contraction, like you kind of feel pressure, obviously, because the baby's head is trying to move down, but then after the contraction is over, that pressure lifts and kind of goes away. And so around like 1:30, 1:40, around that time, I started feeling this pressure that would not go away. And so I told the nurse, and she came to check me, and she was like, yep, you're at 10 centimeters and I can feel baby's head, so we're gonna do a practice push. So did the practice push. She was like, hey, stop, we don't need to do practice pushes anymore, this baby is coming. So once the doctor got there, they set everything up. I think what they told me is I ended up just doing 3 pushes. So I had 3 contractions. It really wasn't 3 pushes. It was like 3 contractions, and within each contraction I would do a long push, take a breath in, and then on the exhale I would push again. So it was a few pushes, but it was only 3 contractions, and I think my husband said it was like 30 minutes, which they told me was really good. It was obviously my first time, so I have no freaking clue. But yeah, baby girl was born on November 28th of 2021 at 2:29 a.m. She was so cute. My husband got to cut the cord and everything. And fun fact, my husband, this whole time, we were like, you're not gonna look. Like, you will probably not want to look, honestly. And to my surprise, and to his surprise as well, he did look. and he did not freak out or anything. He said it was actually a pretty cool experience they got to see. They asked me if I wanted a mirror to see to help me push, but I was like, no thank you. I can live the rest of my life without seeing that. I think I'll be just fine. So I didn't get to look, but my husband did, and he thought it was pretty cool. I ended up having an interior tear. I don't recall how bad it was. I remember hearing them say maybe like 2nd degree, 3rd degree tear. I don't know. Point is, it hurt a lot after that. I had to take medication, obviously, for the after cramps and all that stuff, but also like it just hurt. It hurt to sit in certain ways. I think because I had that tear. Yeah, just recovery was really hard for me because of that tear, and it was just so hard. I don't know, just recovery honestly to me was harder than the giving birth part, just because it lasted so long. I mean, you keep bleeding. I was bleeding up until like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, honestly. Yeah, it was a lot. So that was basically my birth and recovery in a nutshell. I am gonna do a video on what I actually used in my hospital bag, because I think that's super important and honestly kind of shocking to me anyway. So let me know if you want to see that. That'll probably be my next video. So here is baby girl when she was a newborn, so cute, still in the hospital. And here is what she looks like now. I would bring her in here, but she's gonna be a little fussy since she just woke up from her nap. That is it for this video. I hope that if you're pregnant right now, I hope that your labor and delivery goes so smooth and you deliver a healthy baby, because that's really the most important thing, and that you yourself remain healthy as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!